welcome back. This is the 5th episode of my podcast, and I've taken a couple days break just because I've been really busy with work and stuff, but we're back, and today is Tuesday, the 28th, and real quickly, I'll review my picks from Saturday, the 25th. We start off with hockey. I took 3 players for the Oilers. I believe it was McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nugent Hopkins to go over a power play point. The Oilers only saw 2 power plays. Nobody scored on any of those power plays, so I went 0 for 3 there. I had a Holloway anytime goal at plus 500. And that wasn't a horrible play. He had 2 shots on goal, which is the same as Draisaitl and Hyman. McDavid only had 1 shot on goal. So it was just a really good game defensively for the Stars. And for the NBA, I had a decent day in the NBA. I had the Pacers money line. They lost by 3, but that was plus 240 at half a unit. And then I did hit on a full unit at Pacers plus 7.5. And then some of my player props, Pascal went under. Andrew Nembhard over 6.5 assists at plus 105. I hit that. I believe he had 9. And then we have Aaron Nesmith, same game probably there for him to drop 20 and 3 threes. That didn't hit. Miles Turner, we had 20 and 2 threes. I believe he had 20, but he didn't have any threes, so that did not hit. And then Andrew Nembhard, 20 points and 2 plus threes at plus 475. I hit that. Only put a quarter of a unit on it, but that's all right. And then for my same game parlays from that game, I had plus 475 on a Pacers plus 3.5 parlay. Everything hit. Siakam 20 and 5, McConnell 5 assists, Pacers 107 points plus, besides Miles Turner to have 10 points and 1 3. He had 22, but he went 0 for 3 from 3, I believe. So he just needed 1 3, and I would have hit that plus 475. Kind of like the PJ Washington from a few nights before that. I just needed 1 3 at minus 1,000. That didn't hit. So maybe I'll stay away from the alternate threes lines in the future. Well, actually, I won't, because you'll be seeing later in the episode I have some alternate threes. But if those don't hit, then those are going to be banned. So we got, but I did hit a plus 300 same game parlay with half a unit on Celtics money line. The total game over 215.5. Tatum 20 points with a 3. Derek White 10 points with a 3. And Drew Holiday 10 points with a 3. And Miles Turner 10 points. I did not take a 3 for Miles Turner on that parlay, and I'm really glad that I didn't. So I hit that at plus 300. So we lost 3.25 units in the NHL, which is unfortunate. But we did profit 1.61 units in NBA. So that leaves us for the entire day, we went minus 1.64 units. You combine that with our minus 0.36 units that we were down in total. So right now I am down 2 full units. Yeah, some unfortunate stuff, like the Miles Turner 3 was kind of unfortunate. The Oilers not getting many power play opportunities was unfortunate. And what else? The PJ Washington 3 is really what's setting me back the most. But hopefully we can bounce back. Let's get into our picks for today, Tuesday the 28th. So we're going to start with the NHL. I don't have too much on this. It's the Rangers at Panthers. Rangers lead 2-1. Panthers are probably a little bit better of a team. They have their backs against the wall. They've been here before. They're minus 165. I feel like that's pretty fairly priced. The Rangers are plus 135. I don't necessarily want to take any of those straight up. We have an over-under of 5.5, which I'll get to here in a second. That's slightly favored towards the under at minus 120. And then Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 190. So in the last game, we saw 8 power plays, 2 for the Rangers, 6 for Florida. Florida had 2 goals on their 6 power plays, and then the Rangers actually scored 1 short-handed goal on Florida with Barclay Goodrow, and we will talk about him here in a second as well. But I like the under in this game. The first two games went under. The first game was very low scoring. If you don't count that empty net and the own goal on New York, it would have been 1-0. The second game was 2-1, and that was an overtime game, so only 2 goals in regulation. And then this last game, there were only 8 goals in regulation. Again, 3 of them were power plays or shorthanded, so only 5 full strength goals in the last game. Bobrovsky was kind of having an off game. I expect him to bounce back. Igor, he saw a lot of shots. He played solid, but then again, 4 goals allowed. Nothing to brag about necessarily. But in this game, like I said, I like the under. So I have a under 5.5 in a New York plus 1.5 parlay at plus 145. I don't love New York, but I think the value is there at plus 1.5. If you're combining it with the under 5.5, we could see Florida win 3-2. I think we could see another overtime game as well. So I get that at plus 145. I'll put half a unit on that. And then a little bit of a safer parlay is under 6.5 with New York plus 2.5. So that's a final score of 4-2 Florida, and that would still hit. That's minus 130, and I'll be putting a unit and a half on that one. And then my last parlay for that game, a little bit of a riskier one. We have under 4.5, New York plus 2.5, and then Panarin under 1.5 points. So we could see a final score of 3-1 for Florida and see that hit. We could see a final score of 3-1 New York and still see it hit if Panarin can stay under. I think we've seen New York need to use their depth to score. It's not necessarily the top lines over and over like it is for some of the other teams, like the Oilers and stuff. So under 1.5 for Panarin, I feel like I'm pretty confident in that, especially if I'm taking the under 4.5 total. So that's plus 300 at a quarter of a unit. And we're really seeing Barclay Goodrow shine in this series. He's a fourth-line center. He's a 2-time champ with the Tampa Bay Lightning. His only 2 years with Tampa, he won the cup twice, and then he left. And those were Tampa's only 2 cups. So I guess you could say Barclay Goodrow was a big part in that. I think he was on the fourth line in 2020, and then in 2021, I think he jumped up to the third line. And yeah, he just ends up being really clutch here for the Rangers. He's on, like I said, he's a fourth-line center. He had the game-winning goal in overtime of Game 2, sniped Bobrovsky in the top left. And then in Game 3, he had 2 goals. He had that one shorthanded goal that I referenced earlier. And yeah, he just seems to be a big playoff performer. He loves the pressure. He has 6 goals this playoffs for the Rangers in 13 games, and he has 5 goals in the last 6 games played. So in the future, we could be looking to take some Goodrow anytime goals. I don't know about today if I think the price might be affected a little bit just because he's had 3 goals in the last 2 games, so I might hold off, wait until later in this series or wait into the finals to take a Goodrow goal, especially because I think Florida can hold New York to only 2 goals this game, maybe 3 max. So let's move on to the NBA. We have the Timberwolves at the Mavericks. The Mavericks are up 3-0 in this series, but every game has been really close. This could very well be 3-0 the other way. I know Game 1, there was a basket interference on Cat. That could have won them the game. Game 2, I'm kind of blanking on Game 2. The Timberwolves could have won by double digits, but I know all 3 games have been close for the majority of the time played. And then Game 3 was another really close one. A lot of lead changes in the fourth quarter, and then the Mavs just run away with it in the last 3 minutes or so. So the Mavericks are favored minus 120. The Wolves are plus 100. There's an over-under of 211.5. I kind of like the Wolves in this. I don't think that they're going to end up giving up. I like to fade a lot of teams when they're down 0-3, just thinking that they kind of give up, they're ready to go on vacation, that kind of stuff. But I don't think that the Timberwolves are this type of team, especially in the Western Conference Finals. I don't think that there's any quit in them. We just saw them come back from being down 3-2 to Denver. So Yeah, the Timberwolves are still a really good team. They're still pretty healthy. So I'm going to take some player props here. I got Edwards at an alt line of 20 plus points, minus 600. I'll put 3 units on Anthony Edwards to drop 20. Then Karl Anthony Towns over 1.5 threes is minus 195. I'm going to be putting a unit and a half on that. I don't think he's going to lose his confidence. I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say he's cocky, but I still think he's going to shoot the ball tonight. He shot 0 for 8 last game. I think he needs a bounce back. He wants to get back in his rhythm. I think coach is still going to let him shoot. They know he's a 40+% three-point shooter, one of the greatest big men shooters of all time. And you're telling me I just need him to hit 2 threes. I think he's going to get it done, especially because the Mavs are shorthanded tonight with no Derek Lively. And then we have Anthony Edwards, 5+ rebounds, is minus 425. I'm going to be putting 3 units on that. He's had 5+ rebounds in every game this series. In the first game, I think he had 11, and then in the last game, I think he had 9. I know game 1 and 3, he was really good in the rebounding category. Game 2 was so-so, but no Derek Lively. I think he should definitely be able to grab 5 here. So 3 units at minus 425 on Ant. And then I like the Timberwolves. I think plus 100 is pretty good value. I really think that they should be favored here. But I'm going to be taking a same game parlay centered around the Timberwolves at plus 350. I'll be putting a quarter unit on this. It's going to be Anthony Edwards to drop 20 points, 1 3, and 5 rebounds. So kind of like the player props that I did. And then Karl Anthony Towns to drop 10 points and 2 threes. And then Mike Conley to hit 1 3. Mike Conley shot really well last game. He's the veteran. I think he can come up clutch. He's going to be their shooter. He should be putting up a lot of shot attempts as well as Cat. And then I'm going to be taking the Wolves plus 2.5. So that entire parlay, like I said, is plus 350. I don't think that the Wolves are going to quit. I think the Mavs might be sleeping a little bit. They're excited about the last game. And yeah, the Wolves are going to force game 5, I think. So that's going to be it for for previewing tonight's games and my best bets. I'm off to work right now, but I will get back as soon as possible with some college football Heisman odds, some college football win totals, and I'll be doing some special episodes like that. If you watched the whole video, thank you for checking me out, and please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.